Today we are going to look at precise words and the tone of your message. As we look to be precise, let's think about writing with facts rather than feelings. Think about the facts as we choose precise words. Also, it is important to adapt our messages so that they are appropriate to our audience. A message being shared with a colleague or boss might be very different than a similar message sent to someone outside of your particular industry. So, instead of "your order will be filled soon," leaving the reader wondering what order, when will it be filled, be very precise and complete in your message. Your order number, whatever, for 15 cases of paper will be filled by November 1st. Here's another one. We are meeting later today. It leaves the reader wondering, who's in the meeting? When are we meeting? Where are we meeting? What are we meeting about? Instead, write an effective message using precise words, spelling it all out. The sales department will meet at 3 p.m. today, February 4th, in Conference Room B to analyze the September sales figures. Streamline your message by simplifying. To simplify your writing, use familiar words. Ascertain instead of find out, or utilize instead of use would be simplifying, examples of simplifying some words. Avoid slang and popular cliches. Think about how many times have you heard someone say, "think outside the box." Very cliche. Or my personal pet peeve, "at the end of the day." It seems like everyone has to say that. At the end of the day. Leave those types of things off from your messages. Overused phrases should be avoided in your business writing. Long wording can be exhausting to read. When appropriate and possible, replace long words with shorter synonyms. Consider your audience. If the reader is unfamiliar with industry acronyms or technical terms such as legal phrases or medical terms, simplify it if at all possible. And again, remember to emphasize the facts and not feelings. Eliminate words that you would not normally say in the spoken language. How does your message sound to the reader? Remember that the tone of business writing should be courteous and friendly from beginning to the end. Think of the tone as the personality of the document. The words you choose set the tone for the message. The words we use can reflect well on us and our company, or very poorly on us or our company. Let's look at 3 responses to an invitation, all with different tones. This first one is a formal response. I'll let you read through it, and then I'll go to the other 2 slides and we'll talk about it after that. The second response, the chatty response, is not acceptable business correspondence. Either the formal or the personal response is acceptable. A lot might depend on your own personality or the business environment in which you work, but either the formal or the personal response would be an acceptable business writing. should be appropriate to the purpose of the message. If we are writing a collection letter, our purpose and our audience will be different and the tone will be different than if we were writing a good newsletter. The tone reveals attitude toward the topic and the reader. We want to make it professional and friendly as we can, but sometimes something like a collection letter really won't be able to be friendly. But we can't be so harsh that we've closed the line of communication with the reader. If that reader owes us money and we have written such a harsh letter that the reader does not know either how to respond or is so emotionally angry with our company, we've then closed the door and we still need to collect the money from that reader. So remember, your tone should reveal the attitude toward the topic. It should be pleasant, it should be professional, and right toward how you want the reader to respond. Positive language is usually concise and creates goodwill. Here we have 3 examples of statements, and we're going to make them a little bit more positive. So the first example, we have received your order. Now there's really nothing at all wrong with that. That would be a perfectly acceptable way to state that. However, we can increase our customer service by saying thank you for your order. The second one, we can't charge orders under $25. Instead of saying what we can't do, let's change it to what we can do. And again, that kind of brings it to a more positive light. We can charge orders over $25. And then the final one, don't forget to submit your time and expense report. We could maybe soften that a little bit by saying, remember to submit your time and expense report. Here are examples of positive words generating goodwill. Use language that sounds warm and friendly. Again, stick with the facts and stay away from negative language if at all possible. So let's look at some of these examples. Your order will be sent as soon as our new shipment is received. You focused. It's positive. Instead of, I cannot send your order today. Or here's another positive, you-centered, you-focused message. If your camera were still under warranty, it would be replaced. Only cameras under warranty are replaced free of charge. Here's the negative one. Because your camera is no longer under warranty, I cannot grant your request for a replacement. Have you used precise positive words? Are you friendly, and have you thoroughly responded to the reader? When the reader puts your message down, what does the reader think?